What is up, Tamers? This is your boy Red, and welcome back to Hero Games. Continuing our struggle to figure out and build what decks we're going to be playing for BT9. Pre-release was this weekend, and the official release is not too far away, so soon we'll finally be able to tournament test these decks. We've been doing a little play testing. Today we are doing the X-antibody line, starting with the new Alphamon cards. Now, there's definitely a lot of mix and matching you can do between the new setup of the Alphamon line as well as the Death X evolution cards in the Dex Dorgumon. These cards can offer a lot of interchangeability. So it's definitely possible for no two builds to be the same unless you're, on YouTube watching deck builds. Who does that, right? Please like and subscribe. In any case, we are starting off our first attempt without any Death X evolution cards. Not because we don't think they're good, but because I kind of like this Raptordramon and Greymon stuff, and I kind of just want to try it. We'll definitely have a Death X version of this, so don't fret. I'm not insane. I know what good cards are. I just like to try other cards and see what kind of fun stuff you can build with them. So starting off, of course, we are running the 4 copies of Dorumon because you must reveal 3 cards off top of your deck. Add 1 card with X-antibody and its traits and 1 coda among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. And it's inheritable, which is the important part. When one of your effects places a Digivolution card under this Digimon, gain 1 memory. This is paired up with our other searcher, Ouryuken. Ouryuken on play, top 3 cards of the deck, add 1 X-antibody and 1 Yuji among them to our hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom. It's inheritable, gives our X-antibodies decoy. Decoy, if a card would be deleted, if a Digimon would be deleted by effect, we can delete the decoy Digimon instead, sort of a blocker for effects. We're pairing this up with 2 copies of the new Dorumon to finally round out some more X-antibody level 3s. On play, by trashing 1 card with X-antibody and its traits in your hand, draw 2 cards. It has no inheritable. And then we're still running our 2 copies of Tsunarizumon. All of our black Digimon with 13,000 DP or more gain piercing. It's inheritable. While this Digimon is black and has 13,000 DP or more, this Digimon gains security attack +1. It's pretty easy in X-antibody decks to hit that 13k threshold, so it comes in handy quite a bit. Moving into level 4s, we are still, of course, running the Dorugumon on opponent's turn while this card has X-antibody in its traits, or is beside 1, it gains blocker, and its inheritable gives our X-antibody Digimon +1000 DP on all turns. Combine this with the Ginryumon from last set on opponent's turn while this Digimon is X-antibody, it gains blocker. So we compare the blocker with the DP gain, give us a nice beefy boy for them to try to swing into. We have currently switched out the Grumblemons for the new X-antibody level 4, Raptordramon. End of attack, if this Digimon has Alphamon's name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 5 or less. I kind of like it. I want to try it out. Finally gives Alphamon some form of board control while he's swinging, which has kind of been lacking, which is where the Dorgormon came in before. But now Alphamon has access to a little bit of board control. Play cost 5 or less isn't too crazy, though, so we're just keeping them at 2 copies. And of course, the staple of all X-antibody decks everywhere, Doro Greymon. When digivolving, you may place 1 black card with X-antibody and traits from your hand at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to prevent effects from deleting it or reducing its DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. So we can almost safely move up and not be worried about deletion unless you're playing against things with green or blue options. While this Digimon has X-antibody and its traits, it gains security attack +1, which is where we're going to be getting most of our aggression. This, of course, is paired up with Hisarumon. When one of your effects places a Digivolution card underneath this Digimon, you may Digivolve this Digimon into a Digimon card in your hand with X-antibody and its traits by paying its Digivolution cost. When this Digimon would Digivolve with this effect, reduce that cost by 1. So that's a lot to say. Basically, when a effect places something under the Hisarumon, it can Digivolve, reduce that Digivolve cost by 1. It's going into an X-antibody, which is all of our top ends, so nothing too fancy there. Opponent's turn, while this Digimon is X-antibody, it gains Reboot, which works really nice with the aggression blocker strats. Our new level 5 is Greymon. When digivolving, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Alphamon and its name to them to your hand, and place 1 card with X-antibody and its traits among them underneath this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. Trash the remaining cards, and end of attack, if this Digimon has Alphamon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 5 or less. Very similar to the Raptordramon in that it's the exact same as the Raptordramon. Its Digivolving effect basically is a searcher while being able to search for the Alphamon and place something underneath it. I don't see this being a super useful card, but yeah, you never know. It's cool Digimon. I want to try it. We'll give it a shot. But we are keeping him at 2 because I'd rather see, of course, Greymon. His Saryamon is probably objectively much better for level 5. I could definitely see swapping him out for more Greymons. But we're going to give him a try, see what kind of results we could get. You never know. Now, we are still running the BT6 Alphamon Security of Effect. At the end of battle, add this card to your hand. Then, if a Digimon with Royal Knight or X-antibody in its type is in play, up to 12 of your opponent's Digimon can't attack players for the turn, helping us shut down the OTK format this set. And then when attacking, you may pay up to 5 memory. If you do, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP for each memory paid. End of attack, gain 2 memory. So this is the original Alphamon. I'm still running this over the new Alphamon because I like its gain 2 memory end of attack effect more than the when Digivolving effect of the new one. If this one is not within budget or within access to you, the new one is definitely a viable option in my opinion. I just like this one better. In addition to that, it works, the gain 2 memory being not once per turn works wonderfully with Ouryuken. Still running 4 copies of Ouryuken. When Digivolving, you may place 1 card with X-antibody and its traits from your hand underneath this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with play cost 7 or less, being a little bit of a removal card. Once per turn, when one of your effects places a Digivolution card underneath this Digimon or any other Digimon, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP and can't be deleted by opponent's effects until the end of your opponent's next turn, giving him deletion protection, making him at minimum 14k, not counting any Dorogumons we got underneath him. He can be a really beefy blocker while not being able to be deleted by card effect, which is pretty nice. If this Digimon has Alphamon in its name, unsuspend it, which is the primary reason why we're running it. Get this underneath Alphamon. Alphamon can attack again, and again, and again, and again. Now we are running our 1 copy of Alphamon Ouryuken. Let me preface this by saying it is 1 copy because I have 1 copy. If you have more, definitely run more. Run 2, 3 of them. 4 is probably a little extravagant. This is a really strong card. Definitely run more if you have it. I just don't have it and I can't buy it. So you Digivolve from 7 from any level 6, or if you have an Alphamon with an Ouryuken underneath it, you may Digivolve for 3 instead. When Digivolving, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost, making him a wonderful source of removal. End of turn, once per turn, you may return up to 7 non-Digi cards with X-antibody and their traits from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to the bottom of the owner's deck in any order to gain 1 memory for each card return. So once Alphamon's done doing his swing, swing, swing again, we can evolve into Alphamon for 3, gain up to 7 memory. So we'll come out with a plus of 4, which is insane to think about. Moving into the option cards, we are trying out 2 copies of X Evolution. If you have a Digimon with X-antibody and its traits in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements. Reveal top 3 cards from your deck. Add one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a card with X-antibody and its traits among them without paying its memory cost. Trash the remaining cards and then place 1 card with X-antibody and its traits from your trash underneath one of your Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. So this can work out really good with Saryamon. If we play X Evolution, we can try to Digivolve that way. If that doesn't work, the effect of just placing a card underneath Saryamon will activate his evolution that way as well, which is pretty good. It allows us to also do it without having to attack in case we really don't want to attack. We're running 2 copies of Digitalize of Soul. 5 costs to play. Reveal top 3 cards of your deck. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost less than or equal to the play cost of 1 Digimon card with X-antibody and its traits among them. Trash the reveal cards and then place 1 card with X-antibody and its traits from your trash underneath one of your Digimon. So this is another form of removal. I'm thinking, I would like to hopefully hit this Ouryuken, delete something 12 play costs or less for only 5, which is pretty good, and then we can play that Ouryuken underneath perhaps one of our level 5s or so. So when it goes into Alphamon, it gets those repeated swings. I think that might be a cool way. Worst case scenario, we hit the Alphamon Ouryuken, and that would be unfortunate, but that's card games. For a final option card, we are playing 2 copies of X-antibody. If you have a Digimon, you may use this card with ignoring its color requirements. Security, gain 1 memory, add this card to your hand. Main effect, place this card as the bottom Digivolution card under one of your Digimon without X-antibody in its Digivolution cards. Please note that is the card X-antibody, not X-antibody in its traits. All turns, X-antibody can't be trashed from this Digimon's Digivolution cards by card effects. When attacking, you may Digivolve this Digimon into a Digimon in your hand with X-antibody in its traits by paying its Digivolution cost. Now, I like this because we can put this under the Dorogreymon, get the deletion protection, swing with the Dorogreymon, evolve into the Alphamon anyways. This kind of circumvents the Hisariumon effect, which is why I'm not feeling as bad about running 2. You know, I've dropped that down to 2. Have this one at 2 is kind of like having 4. They both go for the same goal, but Dorogreymon has the deletion protection, which is much better. 2 copies of Memory Corrector Coda. If you have 2 memory or less, set your memory to 3. On play, reveal top 4 cards, add 1 card with X-antibody and its traits among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom. Pairing this up with the main tamer of the deck, 4 copies of Yuji. Play one of your Digimon with X-antibody and its traits. When one of your Digimon with X-antibody and its traits is moved from your breeding area to your battle area, you gain 1 memory and draw 1 card. When one of your black Digimon with X-antibody and its traits attacks, you may suspend this tamer to place 1 X-antibody card from your hand underneath the Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. This would normally be how you would also activate the Hisariumon effect, as well as get more of these Ouryumons underneath either Alphamon or Alphamon Ouryuken. And this is my prototype build for Alphamon X-antibody BT9. It's pretty much same old, nothing too crazy. We're swapping out the Grumblemons, so you can definitely make a play for the Grumblemons. We're not running any Death Evolutions currently, but you can definitely play those. Those are really good cards. You could definitely play any option cards that are not these option cards. These are arguably not very good option cards in terms of competitive format, but I like to play with some of the lore-friendly option cards that match the Digimon sometimes. If you wanted something a little bit more strictly meta, definitely run things like Black Memory Boost and Breath of the Gods. Much better, especially Breath of the Gods with the OTK format. If they hit Breath of the Gods, then they can't win that turn, which is really good, especially in the mirror match. Breath of the Gods, if activated for security, they cannot attack you anymore for the turn, which means Alphamon can't activate his never-ending effects, and therefore can't loop. Right, but thanks for coming to my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more Digimon content. We will be tournament testing this and reprising it, and I'll let you guys know the results. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.